What is happening, guys? Today I wanted to record a video on best parts that you can select for your computer, and I have a few price points here that I wanted to go over. And I used a PCPartPicker website to put together all the parts lists. It's a very common tool for people to build. So to build a PC, so I'm just gonna use this one. Okay, so let's start with ultra budget AMD build. So I was trying to get with this one I was trying to get as cheap as possible on all the parts, but as you can see, the price before tax is $511. So if you are going new, just expect that you're gonna spend $560 after tax for all the parts, and then you have to put it all together. Just heads up. So here I went with AMD processor. It is possible to build a ultra budget computer based on Intel platform, just using i3 9100F processor, but that processor only has 4 cores, and 4 cores in 2020 is kind of little. It's not really that enough. So yeah. Also, just wanted to tell you guys that it is the end of August of 2020, so this video is going to be relevant for this time. During this time. Okay, so let's go over these parts. I went with Ryzen 3 3100. This is what's available. This processor is available for $110. So let's see here. From B&H store. It's a 4 cores, 8 threads processor. Really great. Budget option, in my opinion. For the motherboard, I'm using Gigabyte motherboard. This motherboard has Wi-Fi built into the motherboard. The price point is $90. So the same motherboard, but without Wi-Fi, is $72. So what do we have? We pay $18 more, but we get built-in Wi-Fi for this one, and I think this is what very well worth it. So as you can see, there is a Wi-Fi here. This motherboard also has a heatsink for VRMs, so that is helpful. So yeah, let's see. Let's go back here. For the memory, there is a really good deal. Wow, it went down in price even more. So for $57, you can get kit of G.Skill RAM, 16 gigabyte, 2x8 gigabyte sticks, and it's DDR4 3600. So 3600 is considered like de facto standard for a 3rd generation Ryzen chips. Just because like Infinity Fabric is just like a interface between cores that if you put memory with like frequency of 3600, you will divide that by 2, and that will be the frequency of your Infinity Fabric. So if I understand that correctly, but so yeah, basically your Infinity Fabric will work on 1800 megahertz if you use 3600 megahertz RAM kit. If you use 3200 megahertz RAM kit, your memory is going to be like 60. Your Infinity Fabric is going to work on 1600 megahertz. So like that bump between 1600 and 1800 is of 200 megahertz. It gives you like extra, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 5% of performance increase. with storage, I went with this SSD. It's by Team, and it's 512 gigabyte, and it's just $45, so it's a great price. Video card, I'm using RX 570, 4 gigabyte, just the cheapest one I could find. It's a great 1080p card. If we go to user benchmark, RX 570, let's see. So this card is rated 48.6%. So out of all of the video cards, I think 100% is RTX 2070 Super or 2060 Super, something like that. So you get 50% of performance of that roughly. So this is capable of doing. It's actually really good, So right here on the user benchmark, they run just these tests, 6 tests for different, geometrical loads for your like a GPU. And so I've seen many video cards, like many results for many video cards, and 200 or 170 means that like your Fortnite game on competitive settings will run like around 170, maybe like 150 FPS average, but that's just an estimation, maybe 125 FPS. So it's really good for this video card. So even though this PC is like considered ultra budget, it will be able to run a lot of games. So with case, I just went with like the basic one here, $35 for the case. I've built in this case a few times. It's really great. I really like that it has this opening for the power connector here. Has a bunch of SSD mounts here. You can put like hard drive here. Decent airflow. Yeah, it's a great budget case. It's not like the best one you can get. Has like I/O is okay. Comes with a fan, 12mm fan. So yeah, I built in this. Yeah, it doesn't have like a side panel, like a see-through side panel, but for $35 you kind of have to make some sacrifices. For the power supply, I went with this EVGA 450 watt. It's a wide series of power supplies by EVGA. It's a great power supply, great unit. 450 watt is plenty for our build. It's even some kind of it's probably gonna be like even like a little overkill. Usually this kind of system draws 300 to 350 watt from the wall, so that's 80%, and that's at 80% efficiency. So which means it draws even less. Okay, so yeah, so this is the build, $500, $510 plus tax. So this will get you going. This will get you going with gaming, streaming. I mean, you're not going to be able to play like on 144 hertz monitor, 1080p monitor, but you'll be able to play with like some basic monitors, 60 hertz 1080p monitor. You can even plug 2 monitors, use one for streaming, chat, and the other for gaming. So yeah, this is a great starter kit, I would say. So in the future you could upgrade processor to 3600, and then you can upgrade video card to some like 1660 Super or 1660 Ti or RX 5600 XT. But honestly, I would not upgrade this build because the case is super cheap, and power supply, I mean, yeah, it's gonna run like it's gonna run those video cards and like those video cards and that processor like a 3600 is just gonna run fine. But you know, by the time you upgrade, you're putting like your budget, like your budget is gonna grow to like $700, and for that much you can actually put together a much better system, from the beginning. So yeah, let's go back and look at this. This, I consider this as like a budget AMD build, and it's just $100 more, but you get so much more. So for $613 plus tax, so $670, what you get is you get major upgrade. I think it's major upgrade for your processor. So you have 6 cores and 12 threads now instead of 4 cores and 8 threads in previous build. You get the same motherboard. By the way, Gigabyte motherboards, they have PBO, which is Precision Boost Overdrive, implemented on pretty much all of their boards. So what PBO does, it overclocks your processor automatically for you, so you don't have to like go into BIOS and mess with overclock. And I'd rather like prefer to just like drop my chip in and put like a really good cooler and on top of it, and then just let the motherboard do its magic of overclocking. So in previous build we didn't have cooler, because cooler comes with I mean, we're just using the basic cooler for this processor. For this budget build, we're still not, we're still using the same like budget, like the stock cooler that comes into in this box. This big box, as you can see, the processor is just a small part of it, and then the rest is like cooler and manuals and things like that. But so yeah, this motherboard will overclock the processor as much as it can, so that and then it just monitors the processor's temperature, and if it's like too much, it just like reduces the overclock. So yeah, it's great. This like I mean I like this feature from the motherboard. And then we are using the same kit. It's like $60 for the red version, but the reason why I'm using red is because I'm using this case with red inserts. So this Pentax case, it has red background, and it has like a red black theme. So this build is like, you can go with whatever like colors you want, but just because AMD traditionally is a color of red, and Intel is like Intel's color is blue, so they call it like Team Red or Team Blue. So yeah, since this computer is a Team Red, I just kind of wanted to go with like a red and black theme, which carries some extra meaning. So so here we have 512 gigabyte SSD, but this time it's gonna be M.2, so you are able to like install this into your motherboard. And the motherboard has M.2 slot. It's just only one, but it's there, so we're just gonna utilize that one in this build. For the video card, I'm choosing 1650 Super. So again, we can compare a 570 with 1650 Super. Let's see here. So you can see it's 27% more FPS wise and 20% more in terms of performance, and then you can see it's like 58% versus 48. So difference here is gonna be, it's not gonna be that much of a difference, but it's still gonna be noticeable difference. So this 1650 Super is considered like entry level 1080p video card for like all the like modern games. So yeah, user benchmark is great to like see to compare these video cards. You know, it's not a real world scenario, but you know, these you know, lighting and render, gravity, whatever they like graphical tests that you run, but you know, it still gives you like an idea, like a general idea how much performance gain you can get, or performance difference between those. Okay, so the case Fontax Eclipse P300, I built in this case like more than 3 computers now, and it's a great case. It's all right, airflow, but with the build that we are putting into this, it's gonna be fine. You can put extra fan here. It comes with 1 fan on the left here, like on the back. Overall, it's a great quality case. I recommend this case. So yeah. It also has tempered glass side panel, which is great. And for power supply, we're using the same 450 watt power supply here. It's gonna be plenty to power this system. It's just $45. So yeah, for just $100, you are getting much more for your bang, I think. So with this build, you're gonna be able to stream. I mean, so basically storage here is 512 gigabytes. So you're able to install like maybe 1-2 games, but then eventually you want to like expand with, you know, maybe extra SSD or like a hard drive. So this case allows you to install two additional hard drives. So you can install, you know, maybe 2 and 2 terabytes in the future. So as far as upgrading goes, honestly, this will last you 4 to 6 years solid. Yeah, I would upgrade video card with something like RTX 2060 in the future, maybe after 2 or 4 years. This processor is still great. It's gonna run, even though it's kind of older processor at this point, but it's a great processor, great you know, design from AMD. So next, if you want to you know, for some reason you want Intel build, I got Intel build here, and so this this build is a little bit more expensive, and the only reason why is because motherboard does not have built-in Wi-Fi, so we have to like, I included this unit here. It just installs into PCIe 1 slot, X1 slot on the motherboard. So yeah, I chose to go with i5-9400F processor. It's a 6-core processor. You know, it's 6 cores and 6 threads versus like AMD 2600. It has 6 cores and 12 threads. So potentially this is gonna be like slower. I mean, less. Okay, so this processor is gonna be suited less to take, you know, multi-core loads. However, single core with this processor is more, and games usually care about single core you know, performance. So we can use the user benchmark to see the comparison. 9400F versus 2600. Okay. Oops, what type was there? All right, so let's see here. So see, like a single 1 core performance here, they run these tests, and so you can see 119 points versus 110, and then overclocked is 125 versus 118. So, you know, it's 6% faster single core performance. So that could give you, you know, a bump of 6%, maybe 10% in games. Motherboard, I went with this ASRock motherboard. So since this processor is locked, you cannot overclock, so I'm using this B chipset motherboard. So what I like about this motherboard, it has huge VRM heatsink. It has M.2 heatsink. It has, I believe this is another M.2's, like, so you can install two M.2's. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, right there. There is a M.2 slot, so you can install two M.2 drives, and then you can install, M.2 Wi-Fi. There is like a little slot here available. IO is all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 USB slots and then micro USB. Yeah, it's just a basic board, but it'll get you going, and it's gonna be sufficient for i5 for 6 cores. For RAM, I went with this. So this CPU supports officially 2666 RAM speed. So, but I went with 3000 just because it's available for $57, and I went with this white kit because the motherboard has like this white black theme. Storage, it's the same, M.2. SSD drive, this is not NVMe, it's just M.2. I mean, it's just SSD drive, so it goes up to like 600 megabits or megabytes per second, something like that. Video card, I'm using the same video card, 1650 Super. So this case, this is Corsair. Corsair makes quality products, quality cases. So, and this case has 1 RGB cooler inside, so that's cool. We can plug it into our motherboard, have some cool lighting going on. Same EVGA 450 watt power supply, and like I mentioned before, Wi-Fi adapter. So this is gonna be $636 plus tax, $63. So we have $699. So yeah, this build is gonna cost you like $700 after tax. All right, so moving on with the next build. So right here we have best performance CPU and GPU build, and price to performance CPU, according to like many channels that ran tests, like all kinds of tests and games on this CPU. This is like the best price to performance considered, even though like right now it's a little bit more expensive on $190. Used to be like 170, 180, 165, I believe, at some point. But still, even at this price, this is great. Like, and then just like I mentioned before, we're using Gigabyte boards that has precision boost overdrive, and for that to work better, we need to provide like a decent cooling solution, and I think this is gonna do it. This is great. Pretty much iconic CPU cooler, 4 heat pipes. It looks great. So yeah, we're using that in this build. And then 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3600 kit, RAM kit. And then here I'm using same 512 gigabyte SSD drive for like a system, and then I'm throwing in the hard drive for storage. And I worked with like Western Digital hard drives for a while, and they're super reliable, and when they fail, it's like easily it's not like as hard to retrieve data as say from like Seagate hard drives. But you know, you can go with Seagate or like some other brand. But I mean, I prefer Western Digital brand, and this one is on sale for like 34 bucks. So you know, it's great. And here we have you know, according to like a bunch of websites, we have like a best price to performance video card, and this is RTX 2060 KO, and I chose like ultra gaming version. There is like just gaming without like ultra, and it's like $20 less, but this one has like a better frequencies, like more overclocked. So you know, it's a great card. Let's see. Yeah, so great card. It has two coolers. It has DisplayPort, HDMI, and DVI ports, and I'm pretty sure this DVI is like dual link. Yeah, you know, you can plug two monitors using DisplayPorts and like HDMI, and so yeah, maybe 3-4 monitors. Yeah. So performance wise, let's go here and see what we have. So let's just compare it to 1650 Super. I don't think they have the KO version here. So as you can see, this is like 2060 KO. So KO is just a reduced version of RTX 2080 die. So it actually performs faster than usual RTX 2060 in games. And so yeah, you know, this video card is great. So like alternatively, you can, from AMD side, you can get some like RX 5600 XT, but you know, honestly, I think AMD has to get their act together with their drivers, because every time they release these video cards, there are like a bunch of problems. And I tried to like put together some builds using AMD video cards, and it's just always a hassle, honestly. Like the only video card, like video card from AMD that I trust is you know, RX 570 or 580 series, because by this time they you know, optimized drivers, and you know, they worked out all of the, you know, errors and everything. So those like stable, you know. I just went with NVIDIA. Also, NVIDIA cards have NV encoder built in them, so that is just a, you know, hardware acceleration for like encoding video. Yeah, I mean, AMD has its own version, but again, NVIDIA has like superior version of it. So, and then here I'm selecting this like Corsair case, and we are upgrading a power supply. So now our power supply is 650 watt. So this power supply is going to allow you to upgrade in the future. You can install some like RTX 2080 Ti in this build. I mean, probably not going to pair that video card with this processor, but I mean, you can like, if you're like playing 4K or like 1440p, that reduces you know, computational power from the processor to the video card. So you know, this build is, you know, has you know, great future. You know, you're gonna be able to upgrade, you're gonna be able to keep this for like 4, 6, maybe 8 years. Maybe you can push on 10. Just upgrade some parts. But yeah. So let's go back, and so here I have two builds from Intel, and we are going into like a different price category here. So I'm just gonna skip 9th generation processor from Intel, because this is using i7-9700K, and this processor only has 8 cores. I mean, you can build with this if you want to, but since we already have like a newer stuff, I'm just gonna go straight to like 10th generation processor. And the price wise, if you build on the 9th generation, it's $1,300, and then 10th generation is the same, $1,300. So just go with the new one. So here I'm using i5 10600KF, and it is available for $277 from B&H, which is great price. It doesn't have built-in graphics, but we're using graphics cards anyway. So yeah, here we're using really powerful stuff. I'm using Cooler Master Hyper 212 to cool it down, and this is like really super cool motherboard from Gigabyte Vision G. So you can see it's great, like white, black / like purple design. Yeah, great board. Many good reviews, good VRAMs. So this board will be able to like drive 900K, no problem. Okay, so so this board is like overkill, but like you can get this board for $180 from B&H, and all other boards are like $10 or $20 less, but you get like significantly downgraded VRM, which is power stages for your processor. Okay, let's see here. I went with this G.Skill 16/8 gigs, 3200 RAM. You can get 3600 as well. It's gonna be fine. It's $58. But this should do fine as well. So storage, we're getting upgrade. We're not now using NVMe drive, and it went down in price today, and it's $57 now. So this is a like 512 gigabyte NVMe drive from Team, pairing that with Western Digital Blue 2 terabyte. So basically 2 terabyte hard drive. You can go with Seagate, you can go Toshiba or whatever brands you like. And then video card, we're using RTX 2070 Super. So yeah, this is a reference model from NVIDIA. Works great. So the other thing with this build is that those like this processor and this video card, they produce a lot of heat. So I went with this airflow version of Corsair 275R case, and I went with the blue one. So we're going blue. I'm sorry, white one. So we're going like a white and black theme on this one. Yeah, Corsair, great products, great quality cases. So we're using this same Corsair power supply. Just mention these brands, mention Corsair case, Corsair power supply. And since this motherboard doesn't have like a Wi-Fi, I'm throwing in this Wi-Fi adapter in here. As you can see, this doesn't have like any fancy LED fans or anything like that. So this is just the basic stuff that you get, and then you can add on top whatever you like. So 1350 plus 135, we're having $1,475. So roughly like $1,500 build. For $1,500, you getting hell of a performer. Here we have 6 cores, 12 threads, overclockable Intel like processor. This thing is a beast. It's a little like on the more expensive side compared to like AMD, but nevertheless this is still a good performer. And then 2070 Super is just let's see, 2070 Super. So let's just compare this. Yeah, so you can see that, 1650 Super we have 58%, and this one is 113. So yeah, this video card is like 1440p, 4K, some of 4K gaming. You should be like, you should play no problem. So yeah. All right. And then next build. So next one we are using, so like so far we had like 6 cores processor. So this one is gonna use 8 core processor, and this build is from AMD, and it's using 3rd generation Ryzen processors. Okay, so we're upgrading cooler on this one. We're using this Noctua NH-U12S. So there is a NH12 version, and it has like 2 fans, and it's like super wide. So S means that this one is going to be, more compatible with like your RAM. So yeah. And Noctua's, I used a few Noctua coolers, and they're just amazing. Last forever, and So again, we're going with Gigabyte disk because of PBO, and also this board has Wi-Fi built in, and this board is like not too bad with VRAMs, from, if I'm not mistaken, because like some of the Gigabyte boards, their VRAMs are terrible, but this particular Pro version should be fine. But yeah, it's gonna be fine for your like 8 core, and it's just gonna basically automatically overclock it. And then by installing this huge like monster cooler, we're giving it like extra headroom in terms of temperature to overclock this like as much as it can. Okay, so we're going with 3600 RAM, NVMe 512 gigabytes, and then 2 terabyte like a platter drive. I mean, you can change the storage. You can go with like 1 terabyte NVMe drive, and then no hard drive at all, or like, yeah, it's up to you. But then we're using 2070 Super on this build, and then we're using black version of the Airflow case, and we're using same 650 watt power supply from Corsair. So this build is gonna cost you like $1,300 plus 130, like $1,430. So this build is like $70. It's gonna be $70 cheaper than this like 10th generation build from Intel. Okay, it's not clicking. Yeah, my internet is. But yeah, this is gonna be like the only build that I have saved here is like my personal build that I'm doing recording on right now, and this one is also featuring like 8 cores, 16 threads processor, but it's like from Intel. Yeah, my internet gave up. All right, we're back online. So this is my personal rig, and I was just able to get like really good deals on parts. So like this cooler was like $20 for me, and I'm using non-overclockable i7 processor. Some people probably not gonna like this choice, but it works great for me. And then I was able to get the 490 motherboard for like $135, which is a steal. And then I got GTX 1070 Ti, used titanium version for like $260 after tax. So yeah, basically my build was like $1,052, and I didn't use like a huge storage option here. I used like this silent version of this 100R case. It's just like a basic case from Corsair. Doesn't have any like side panels like I see through, and it just works fine for me. So yeah, I decided to go with that. All right, so the internet is not working again. All right, so here we are. So yeah, this is my build I'm using currently, and I'm pretty happy with this one. So if you want to, you can, you can repeat this, try to find like good deals on video cards and motherboards and coolers, and just like put one together like this. But yeah, well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you can just like comment, leave some comments if you have like any like considerations or thoughts or suggestions. But yeah, thank you so much.